welcome back to our Scala classes. Today we will talk about regular expressions, probably the most powerful tool we have for extracting certain patterns out of our strings. So if you have some general idea of some text you want to extract, regular expressions will be the most powerful tool you can choose. But let's go back to see our basic pattern matching we have in Scala before we go to the powerful tools. Remember our day 15, right? We had StringMatcher, right? So it does support some limited matching, right? You write a pattern, right? You have a name, let's say, so you can define some certain parts of text you want, and then you can see what you want to extract, right? But the difficulty, of course, is that you need, of course, it's very general, right? You could do something like this, right? Something like this, right? You need a space, right? So a dash, right? Control Z, right? So like it will work nicely for this type of the data, right? But for more general cases, it will become insufficient for more for harder case. So let's see. Let's take a look, right? So let's say we have a data, and I'll be using the regular expression documentation here from Scala Documentation on regular expressions. Documentation on regular expressions in Scala. Again, it's based actually in reality we are running the Java library. So again, since we can utilize the full power, and this is so regular expressions. They are not unique to one language, right? We'll be also using a very nice tool for testing. Test your regular expressions, test and build your regular expressions. There are multiple tools you can use, but I use often this one. Again, if you don't do this every day, you will quickly go out of practice, right? Because there's so many different options here. But you can use this to build up the patterns. But okay, so let's see. Or we have a string here, right? We have a date. For example, this will be our date, right? A really old date, right? So well, date string, right? Date string equals something like this, right? And of course we can pattern match, right? We can do this match date string, right? Date string, right? And how it was, language was or vice versa, sorry, date string match, right? Date string match, right? Match, and then we need the language, right, from our day 15. And we could do it, right? We could do it here, get something out, right? And we could get out the values, all right? Where's my day 19, right? So for basic cases, this might be enough, right? So if I want to extract, right, I'll maybe do I'll do something like this. I could do, we have of course dashes, so I can do date dash months, right, and dash day, right? Okay, that works. That should work. So of course, what I'm going to return? I'm going to return a tuple, right? So since I'm lazy, date. I don't have any case class, right? Nothing cool to use, right? So day on as default case, nothing, right? I need to return the basic stuff, right? So just nothing. Maybe this will be string. So no year, no year. Something you have to come up with yourself. What do you want to supply? No months, right? No months or no date, right? No day, right? Again, this will give you. So this will be my tuples, right? Well, I can extract, right? My tuple, or I can just extract directly. I can extract directly. I can extract, date, months, and day, right? This should work, right? Yeah, it works, right? So again, notice again. So because these match, it's just mostly for convenience, but they don't have to match, right? These names, they're not they're not directly related. They correspond, but they don't actually, meaning when I send it back, this global date becomes the one from data string extraction, but they are not directly the same, right? Because here I'm sending a string to this date, right? Not this. So let's see, right? So we have we can print, of course, so we can print, right? Print line, so I could do, you know, date, and I can go back, right? I can go back, right? I can print date, I say date, and maybe something like, you know, months, and of course also day, right? Okay, so that should do it. Let's see if this works, right? So we should get back all the original information, right? Run. And let's see if this works. It should. Maybe we'll get no year. Maybe it won't work, right? Maybe I made a mistake somewhere here, but looks like it did work correctly, right? It did work correctly. Okay. Okay, great. So we can extract these individual values and we can start working with them if you have a string. But what happens if you have a slightly different string, right? Well, if you have spaces maybe, right? Or maybe you have a like this character, right? So, well, then another string, I'll do Control D, date string, another, you know. Right, so how to extract? Are we really gonna do this? I mean, it's gonna be kind of painful to do it every time, right? To do all cases, right? And you might not be able to come up with all the cases, right? You have different type of strings, right? And it might be just, you know, might seem like a hopeless pursuit, right? But there is regular expressions can help us in this regard, right? We can define our strings and or matches, and we can use this in conjunction with these pattern matching, right? And we can, you know, proceed to do some maybe do better than this basic pattern matching built in here. Okay, so we would like to also get this right. So I could do case here, right? I mean, that would work, right? I could do this, right? I mean, I could add here, and it would work, right? But again, it keeps again, it will work, right? And if I do this print line date, I can do also print line, right? I do basically well, let's make a function out of this, right? Because we just keep adding these matches, right? So let's make a function out of this, since we're always getting tuple. So make it function, right? Define, right? So we want to get it out. So this returns, in comes date string, right? So this will be define. Get year, date, year, months, day, right? We're giving date string, of course, obviously date string, which is of course a string, and out comes a tuple of 3 strings. Yeah, indeed, it comes out with a tuple. In fact, Scala IntelliJ tells us, okay, that's what you get, right? And so I would actually like to make it complete, right? Can I make it complete? No, I don't want rollback change, so I actually want to type this in, right? Can I do this? And it's not, I want to complete it actually. Well, I'm lazy because I don't type it, but okay, I'll type it. Okay, you got me. You got me, I'll type it's a tuple, right? Again, since I'm too lazy to make a specific case class for this, right? Okay, so this will work. It looks correct. Function signature is correct, and I can print it here, right? I can print line, and I'll do get year monthly, get year months day, right? And give it date string, right? And we need one more parenthesis, and I can do get year months day, another day string, right? And this both should work, but at some point it will fail, right? And I'll do maybe something like you know, and I don't know, and of course we don't check for, you know, something like this. It will fail on this, right? I mean, it won't fail, but we'll give you this one, right? So let's run it, see if we have any improvement. Yeah, so it worked in these 2 cases, right? I'll do maybe slightly different number, so you know this is 421, right? We can do actual date, of course, right? 421, right, it will work. Again, so you can use this. If this works, that's fine. Again, but we will look now at the more, again, it's like the regular expression, it's a very tempting tool because you can do everything, you can do it already, but you can do more, right? So we'll explore the basics of syntax. So here we have match, but regular expressions gives us a more powerful way of writing these. So let's take a look at this. For example, here, right? Let's take a look at the string, maybe this one here, right? Right, on like this, right? And I'll do maybe my name, Valdis, my name, right? On Riga is a great city, right? So regular expressions gives us a way of defining, of specifying what you want to extract. Well, that's the idea, right? So here you have a nice little reference. You have a way of referencing pretty much anything you want, right? So if I reference, let's say, V, right? It defines V, right? Just a global V, matches V, right? Easy. Well, what I can do things like this, A to Z, right? So this matches V and R. I can do A to Z, right? I can do A to Z, and it matches all the small capital letters, right? For example, right? I can match, for example, I can match, let's say N or M, right? So it matches M or N, right? So it finds, it's extremely powerful, right? You have these ways of defining. So now you can say, okay, how about L, right? Or A, or let's see, do we have something else? E, we can do E, but only at the end of the line, right? Let's see if I can have this right. Where is it? Yeah, end of the string. So if I do E, right? Not enemies, by the way. So if I do E, right? I have two E's, right? I can add a $sign, right? And I only match this last one, right? In fact, you can read this again. Again, this is not going to be enough today for this one lecture to go through all of these language features. There are nice thick books on this again, but this course just gives you a little appetite of what you can do with this, right? So it matches E, right? It tells you, it explains exactly, and also we add an assertion. This has to be at the end of the line, so this E won't work, right? So so far so good. We can specify specific strings, right? We can specify also. We can also specify specific numbers, right? Also, right? For example, I want any digit. So what happens if I do this? D. You see, I got all the digits. Oh, that's great. But how about I want only at least a number of 4, right? 3 or 4 more. Let's do this, right? I'll do 2 or more, right? That matches everything, right, so far. But how about I want only 4 or more, right? And I only get this initial one, right? So quite powerful, right? Again, so I can match the first 4. It matches any 4-digit combination. So if I write 1, 2, 3, no, yes, this also works, right? And so on, right? Extremely powerful. So you have these rules, and you, I guess the challenge is coming up with these rules that you don't match too much, right? You have to be very precise when defining. And if you are too loose, if you're not precise, you might match something you don't want to extract, right? So that's the possibility. So for example, I want only digits at least, let's say I want only 2 digits or more, right? This seems to match everything, right? However, right, but I want only, right, start of the line. So what do? I add a little caret symbol. I add a little caret symbol here, right? Where is my caret symbol? Oh, here we go. Right. So no, look, notice. Again, you read up on here, but it explains exactly what's going on, right? Asserts, we are asserting that it starts at the beginning, right? We only care about the matches at the beginning of the string, of the line, of the row, and then we have say, okay, we want to match these specific numbers, right? And we can also do things like this. We can say we want to extract specific patterns, right? We can do extraction, right? So this means we have capture group. Okay, we want to capture this, right? So the question is now, what happens if I do this, right? So I capture everything, like I capture more data, right? So by putting parentheses around, regular expression, I offer ability to capture what I need. So if you need to extract these numbers, there you go. You'll extract all 2-digit numbers or longer, right? So question is, how about specific, only 2 and 3? You don't care about the big ones. No problem. You put, let's say, 3. So now you only match, well, you match 2 and 3, but only notice something interesting here, right? So this here won't match, right? However, right, this works, right? But here you have 2 matches, right? This matches again on this matcher, and this is where difficulty starts coming in, right? You want to match only, then you need to do something. So then you have additional ability. You need to start thinking, how would you, if you don't want to match this number at all, right? So how would you describe the matching these 2 or 3 digit numbers? What would be their defining characteristics? Well, this gets kind of difficult, but if you don't want to match something this, but we could think of, let's try something this. We could do this, space. So that's good. We say, okay, we want to match all these 2-digit or 3-digit numbers with the provision that there's a space coming after white space, just a single space character coming afterwards, right? But it's not a digit, obviously, right? So this works, well, it helps, but doesn't help with capturing this end of these long numbers. So the question is, what can I do to get start of it? And well, again, so we could add a space, right? So now, well, we are capturing only this one. Unfortunately, we are not capturing these 3 numbers, and they are actually ones we want, right? They are 2 or, well, no, this one we don't want, but we want these 2. Okay, so space in front is not guaranteed, right? I mean, I could do this, it will capture also this one, right? Right, this works because space in front, space in back. Okay, that's great. How about this one here? That's not captured. Why? Because it ends, right? There's nothing at the end. So what can we do? Well, I think what we can do, and I'm going to check, again, this is definitely out of my own comfort zone, but I think we can do this. Let's see. Here, right, space, I think we can do this. Start or caret or start. Let's see, this works? Yeah, it does work right now. 3 on space, right? Picks up. Question is now, so space or either space or start. Let's see, this works. It shouldn't work here, right? See, let's read. Okay, so we either any digit. So this capture is good, right? So what's happening here? Here I think the problem is that space is not allowed. I think that's a problem. So we want any white space, let's see, any non-word character. Let's try this one. That actually might be better. Any non-word character. Can we do this? Okay. Let's see if this any non-word. Well, because word is non-digit. Any non-digit. Okay. How about non-digit? That might be good, right? So this is gonna get. You have a lot of options here. How about, can I do non-digit? Okay, that's much better already. Non-digit. So we're saying start. This matching maybe might not be something that I want to do correctly. So okay, let's do this. Maybe this part here. Caret. The problem is I think I need to escape the caret. I think. Yes. Okay. That's what the hard part is about this. So that's why irregular expressions is hard. Is because quite often you need to escape some characters. So here I'm saying I want to start. So either I want to start here, right? Or well, and also then I need to have some digits, 2 or 3 long, and I want a space. But let's see if we can do this same thing at the end, right? I can do, so again, $, probably. I'm not quite sure, but I think we can do this, right? This. Okay, I think we did it. Okay, perfect. Well, Perfect as long as we are fine with this number, right? So, and also it didn't work with this here. Why didn't it work? Let's check. Start and beginning. Do we have anything here? No. So maybe we will have to do multiple matches right here. So this is again shows how you can get quite creative with this matching, right? So probably here the matching, right? You have to see this choice, right, of multiple matches. Okay, right. So the things outside which we want to start with something, right, and we want to end, right. It might be actually possible, maybe better, I think, might be to do all three cases separately, right? So that's a possibility, assuming, right, yeah, that might be a possibility, or all four cases. So this still not, maybe, if you don't want these, right, we can modify it further. So we can do multiple matches, I believe, right? So match one, right, it tells you exactly, right? Match one, right, it matches non-digit, right? So it groups out of this match. This is the first match, right? This part here, right? It gives you 0, 4 because that corresponds to this rule, digit of 2 or 3 length. Again, so this is already quite complex example, but not maybe again for starters, right? And again, so things you can build extremely powerful regular expressions using these rules, right? You can modify what you want to extract exactly. Again, so you'll have to play around again for this, do some experiments. Again, and we can also do wildcards, right? Yes, we can do wildcards as well, right? So we can say any single character, right? Let's try this one here, right? So let's try to match. We could do, of course, like this, all words, but we could do. Let's say city, for example. Let's try city, right? So city, right? C, and we want single character. Yes, so C, T, right? Oh, nicely matched, right? That's a wildcard, right? What we could do also, we could do. So this is single character. We want multiple, right? So we can use our good old friend, Mr. right? Just a wild star, right? So how could we do this? So city, we could do this. I believe this. Yes, city, right? And I'll do citizenry, right? Also works, right? Citizen doesn't work. How about well, the question is now citizen XY. You see, it also works now. You see, and in fact, notice something here, right? Because this rule is extremely loose, right? It picked up this, right? Moves on to next match, right? So we're matching, well, multiple, right? So it's a very loose rule, right? So probably, in fact, here we matched everything here, right? So you have to be careful with wildcards, right? Probably want to do something. I would probably do, if you want to sit something only 4 digit long, probably better would be to do things like what is it, word character, right? Any word character, W, right? W and 2, right? Which I think is fine, right? So it gets you city, right? Exactly. No citizen, no citizen, not citizen XY, right? You get a CY and you say, okay, I want something which starts with C, ends with Y, and I only want exactly 2 characters long. Again, there might be alternative syntax, but I'm saying 2 and 2, right? I only want any two words, right? I can do also to work with this, right? City, right? It also work here, right? Because W, small capital W, corresponds to any capital lower or upper case, both cases, right? If you want single case, I believe you have to use this syntax here, right? This type of syntax in here, right? Okay, so what else? What else do you want to do? Okay, so alternate. Okay, yeah, so alternate matching, right? We saw that, and again, that should give you some ideas what you can do with matching ideas. Use all these ideas here, different ways of stopping, of describing what you want to extract. Okay, so let's say you have some regex, right? You play around, you see, it looks like it might work, right? But how to utilize it in Scala? Well, that's why we are here, right? We have some time, right? Let's see how to do this, right? This was pattern matching. Well, example here in the book, official direction, right? Here it is. This is our data extraction, right? So by now you should be, again, in fact, actually you didn't have type 2 too. You could do it directly, right? So my syntax was here in this part here. I could change this to back to 2, right? This would work as well, right? I say I want to extract a match of C, something inside, and then two any letters on Y at the end. And it works quite nicely. Again, go slowly over these examples to see, play around to get a feel for this, how it works. Again, it's not always intuitive, right? Sometimes it's quite nice, sometimes it takes some getting used to. So there's one extra challenge when working with regular expressions, right? There's a famous saying that a programmer thought he had a problem, right? And well, he thought I know regular expressions. Now he has two problems, right? You have to implement the regular expression. So in Scala, well, the issue is the escaping, right? You can't use a regular strings, right? Remember how we use the S for string interpolations? Turns out there is another way of string interpolation. There's a raw interpolator, right? Here is a raw interpolator, right? So raw interpolator, useful for building regex. Escaping, right? It's not less escaping, because the problem is this, right? As we know, especially right, especially good to avoid a mess like, you know, this, like something like this, you know, D or something like this. It can get quite crazy, right? You don't want something like this. This will just, you know, ruin your day. So we can use this type of where is it? So there's my Scala library, right? So we're gonna build this regular expression, and notice, so there are two things, right? So I'll call it date regex, right? So you can see date regex, right? So first of all, this is raw, right? Raw string interpolator, right? So meaning I don't have to escape. If I didn't have this would be a big problem. My regex would break, right? Because this backspace, I will have to escape it again, and it gets harder and harder and harder. But here we have defined it saying any 4 digits, any 2 digits, any 2 digits, right? Exactly, right? So we'll see again, not a date, not a date, right? And we'll see example, right? Like something like this, right? You'll see the difference now, right? Here it will work, right? This should not. We should not get a date out of this, right? So again, raw. This means I don't have to escape, right? I just write as I do, right? All these characters, because we'll, and then at the end this little r, right? This r at the end signifies regular expression. Okay, so now we can actually extract. Let's do this, right? So here's an example, right? So we can extract exactly. So notice, right? So we have defined it in terms of space, but we could also do this in any non-digit character. Let's do this. We'll fix it afterwards, right? So let's do this, right? My regex define get year, month, day, regex, right? So in fact, we could do this like here, date string on string on. I believe this is, let's see what it looks like, what type it is. Is this regex? It's a regex, right? And I want my regex date regex, right? And I want regex. I believe this will work. Yes, and I can do this. I think I can do this here. Date regex. It'll work. No. Let's see. This was date regex. Oh, I need to say what it is. Import class Scala matching. I believe now. Yes or no? Actually, no. Let's see what happens if I did like this. No. Okay. Well, let's see if I what type date types. And I'm lazy. Right, I'm lazy really. So date regex, what happens if I return this? Nothing. Let's see if I return this. It's not telling me what I'm getting out. It just says regex. Can I type like this? Okay, I can. Apparently I can. And so again, I'll do date regex, right? Okay, that works. Again, it doesn't have to match, but I was thinking, can I do this? I should be able to do this, right? Date regex, right? Yeah, I can. Okay, okay, I was wondering, right? Because I want to have set up so you don't have to do this all the time, right? Okay. So basically, I could do this immediately here, right? I could do it here, right? I could just paste it here. Okay. So obviously, I don't want to return a regex. I want to return, let's say, date, months, right? I want to return string. Okay. So let's do that. Right? It's going to be a string, right? And of course, I'm going to do fix me, right? Sorry. So fix me. Right, and I'm gonna do this, something, fix me, right? Obviously not production ready, right? So again, so we can use. It turns out we can use a matcher. So this is kind of cool, right? We can use a matcher immediately, right? So it's my string. So we can use a case out inside. We have the matcher. It's really cool, right? So we can give it. So let's see this example. So we have our date string, right? Date string, right? Match, right? And if I could of course skip the parentheses here, right? So match. So what do I match? Well, case date regex. Right? And let's see. And I'll do date again. What we have. Date or what do they call it, or year. It should be actually year, not date. Oh, sorry, it should be year, of course, right? Naming is not quite nice, right? I'll call it year. This is better here, like how they say it here. Yeah, year, month, day, of course. Month, day, right? And I'm getting out. So this is year, month, day. Okay, that's good. And of course, I want case default. I'll get nothing, right? Since I'm lazy, I'll use this one here, right? So either I match everything or nothing, right? So this will work. Okay, so this will work. And of course, so now it will match. What do you think it will have? It will match on only so far this first match, right? But again, I'll give an example here, maybe like this part here, right? So this is not a date, not a date, not the date, not a date, right? Okay, right? Well, unless it's aliens landing. Okay, so so simpler. Well, at the cost of here, we don't have to cover. We only have to think about the regex, right? So that's, we kind of shifted the problem space, right? Well, again, so this is much, but it's, again, what we gain is we have a strict definition. We say we only want to match these particular strings. They have to start with 4 digits. We don't actually, we are not completely strict. We don't care about the beginning, right? We could have some space here, by the way, right? That will also match, right? That's another thing, right? So that's another important thing, right? If I have something like this, notice, right? I'll put something like this, right? Of course, we could trim this, right? But again, regex, good regex will extract this information out of this date. Okay, so we have no year, no date, and let's see what happens, right? So since I'm lazy, right? I will check all of these examples, right? And of course, I need to have a regex, right? Regex, since we have definition, I don't have to supply my own regex, right? And regex. Okay, let's see what happens. I am assuming this will work, rest will not work, right? We'll see if do we need to fix this one afterwards. Let's check. Oh, well, that's interesting. We didn't match any of it. Okay. Well. Because why didn't we match anything? Well, because here we didn't put enough any room, right? There's no room for anything else, right? So what could we do? Well, easiest to do this, right? So anything goes before and after digits, right? So we don't care about these, right? That might be, or any non-digit, or even better, this would be less strict. So we care what's non-digit. Non-digit big day, right? So we can do this. Okay, we want beginning 0 or more, right? 0 or more non-digits and also 0 or more non-digits. So questions, why didn't I put any character? Well, I don't want to match also these this weird this number here, right? This is not what I don't want to match this. Otherwise, I'll match this part here, right? And that's not good. Well, assuming that's what I don't want, right? So, well, it wouldn't match, but it might match something else, right? We can always. So this is probably the strictest one I can think of right now. We could also put beginning here if you want. So this should match at least this first one. Let's see this part here. Let's see if this is the case. I feel reasonably certain, but regex is always tricky. Yes, it worked perfectly, right? So now let's see, can we fix this part here? It's let's do any non-digit. I think that will work, right? Is that good enough for us? I think so in this case, right? We could be more strict, but I'll do any non-digit, So, right, digits. So we say we start no matter how many digits we want, no non-digits, right? Maybe nothing, right? So it means at the beginning of a string. Then we have 4 digits, then any single non-digit, then again any single non-digit, and then we have 2 digits to end, and again then whatever you want. So this is very specific to digits, right? Extracting digits, and we should have nice extraction here. So this means that this should also extract date, but these two should not extract anything. Well, actually, this also will not extract. Why? Because this is also I'll add one more, right? I'll do this one here, right? This should work now. Unval this, right? So it will extract this part here, right? It should work, right? No digit. That's not a digit. This one is not a digit. So, and we have 2, 2. Okay, and this is of course not a digit, right? Any number of non-digits, right? So let's see this in action. Did we make any snafus? No, it worked perfectly. So, or little regex worked perfectly. So, assuming that's the rules that we want, it will extract, faithfully extract 4 digits followed by any non-digit, again by 2 digits, and then again digits, and again 2 digits, and then anything of non-digit variety. So it did not fit like what I was trying. This is not doesn't match our rule because this is a digit, and here it says it has to be non-digit, the third one, right? And here not a date, same problem, right? This is too long, so it doesn't match our matching rules again. But of course, again, why people are afraid of regex is because it looks like a big mess. But I don't think by now you should realize it's not that scary. There are not that many commands, and you can learn to read this, right? It's not that scary. So how else can you use this? Again, we can use this in matching, right? But there are 2 other ways of using it. We can use, well, there are a couple other ones, but we can use first match, right? Let's do this one here, right? We have dates, right? And this will do a first match, right? So we can find matches. Find first match, right? And of course, I don't have date, I have date regex, right? On get or else, right? So I'm using it. This will give you first match option, or possibly nothing. So you add something that you need. So you'll have a match. On print line, you have your first date, right? You should find this one here, right? First date. Quite nice. Right? Look at this. Nice. Well, did we print it? Oh, sorry, not first date. Yes. But on regex, there's only slight. Because by regex it was, well, let's see. What did we extract here? First date, that's of course is a string. But did we make it, or regex, there seems like we extracted 2 extra characters. Let's see, why is that the case? Why did we extract these 2 characters? That seems like or maybe this is comma, maybe you just printed out this is a string. Yeah, this part here is kind of interesting. Why did we get this part here? We said we want any non-digits, right? We don't care to extract these, right? They shouldn't have been extracted because we are matching. Maybe because it matches the actual full regex. Let's see. Yes, it extracted everything except this part here, right? So this is probably not what we want, right? Because we don't care about, it doesn't care about matches, right? So this is, so this matches everything, right? We probably want something like all dates, probably, right? And there is the option to do this, right? We can do matches, right? We can do matches true, false, right? Whether it matches, right? Is that a date? That's not a date, right? But also, we can find all, right? So this is very interesting, right? We can actually find all in, and we can yield it actually. Where is my yield or list? We can do it to yield list. Where's my yield? Yes. We can find all matches, so all years. Let's check. This should work better. And we already know this syntax. So well, let's see. This is of course date regex. So notice how this works. So we have our regex, find all match in our dates, right? And we are yielding for each match. We're yielding the first group. Why first group? Well, because in our regex, right? This is our first group. That's the 4 digits, right? So that should work. Let's see if this works good or not, right? This will be what, a list iterator, right? So we'll do it to, maybe do this to, so for print, we could maybe do this to a list or to array, maybe, right? Let's do this here. So for all years, for each print line, right? That should do it, right? Let's see how well it works. Yeah, worked excellent. Perfect. Even though, by the way, we did change it from the example, right? I added some extra matches here, right? So what we did here, we say extract to find all matches in our using this regular expression. We can have access to find all matches in our date string, right? It finds all matches, and for each match you have groupings, right? So we have 3 groupings in this example: 1, 2, 3, right? That's because we said 3. It could be 1, it could be none. We don't have to have all groupings. But here we have 3 groupings. And we only care about the first one here because that's the first one is a year, right? So we say yield, so we get all years. And we have nice year extraction. Quite powerful. Again, so so the challenge is you can find first match, right? And find all match. Maybe first in, maybe is there a match also? Believe first match, right? Yeah, so probably this one is probably what you want, right? Probably be better, right? First year, first date is not probably good because we are picking. Why did the first one? Okay, so why did this give you extra first match, right? First find, right? First find, right? But first year, well, first year, right? Will be date regex find first in, right? In dates, right? On yield, right? First year, right? Find first match in, right? And this, let's see, this works all years or this first year. For find first match in, so it will give you iterator of all the matches, right? And we want to yield just one. Let's see, this is yeah. Let's see, this one works. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this might actually be incorrect, but let's check. Find first, right? Yes, option string. Yeah, okay, let's see, this is a string. It's an option string. Oh yes, it is indeed, it's the option string, so we can print line first year. Can we do this? Will it work? Yeah, it should work. Okay, let's try this and then we can finish this. Yes, it works. Well, of course, this should have been a sum, right? Notice sum, this is an option, this is an option, so should have called get or else, right? Get or else as well, right? Okay, but at least again, so these are technical details how to further refine. So again, so process is this. Again, to reiterate, you figure out, build up a regular expression, right? And again, you may use something already existing already. We'll test some afterwards, and then you apply it to your text, right? You could use on each line or a big text of chunk of text, right? And you have options. You have options. You can use a match, right, where you insert the regular expression and you see what you want to extract directly. That's quite convenient, right? Or you have alternatives. You can do the first match, right, which will match everything, right? Or get all matches right here. So to continue to do, let's do some exercise. Let's do some exercises with regex. All right. So thank you.